I walk a crooked road to get where I am going. To get where I am going, I must walk a crooked road. And only when I'm looking back, I see the straight and narrow. I see the straight and narrow when I walk a crooked road.
Well, hey there, beautiful internet people. So I wanted to hop on here and talk about a couple of things. And it looks like this video blogging thing of mine's turning into more of a video diary. So if you want to hitch along for the ride, feel free. I hope that some of the things that I've experienced or observed and then translate onto video here with my take on it is helpful to you in any way. Uh, I need to give the disclaimer on anything that I talk about. I am not a licensed medical physician at all. Any advice that you may get from any of my videos are your responsibility, whether you act on them or not. I claim not to know anything except for having my own observations and opinions. So, what do I want to talk about today? Well, firstly, there's I have this thing about teamwork and professionalism at work. And recently I was let go of a job because I spoke up in a group chat and asked that there be more professionalism. And what had occurred was one of the other, shift managers didn't like the way that the previous night shift had closed down the shop and got on to the group chat, which includes the owners and everybody under the sun, and stated how sloppy and irresponsible the previous shift was. Now whether it was in her intention to public shame people or not, um, uh, I don't know. But it is something that I have a really difficult time allowing and just ignoring. I am a little vocal to a fault sometimes. So, anyways, excuse me while I have a frog in my throat. Let me pause for a second here. Okay, so the the response was to let me go, and which was fine. Opened up new and more beautiful doors, and but that's not what I came on here to talk about. What I came on to talk about was one of the things that I experienced in that job that I tried to relay to people at different times and to help out with. And that is these unconscious, um, NLP, neurolinguistic type uh, habits that we have that erode teamwork and professionalism. And one of the things that people don't understand or realize is one of the most common, in my opinion, subtle erosions of team building and teamwork is using I when addressing a customer about inventory that is available or not available, or what your store or services can provide. And I know why it bothers me so much. And I don't think a lot of people understand why it bothers me so much. So I feel compelled to explain why it bothers me so much. And the reason for it, I just was in a retail situation here earlier today, and the person that was helping me was referring, well, let me see what I have. Let's see, well, I have this, or I don't know if I have that in stock, or I don't, I. And my smart ass self was halfway tempted to say, oh, do you own the place? Did you, are you the one who's responsible for getting the inventory in here and buying it and using, your your bank account and credit and whatnot, and paying the bills to make sure that this product is in the store. I mean, it is possible. The likelihood of it is very minimal or very unlikely, and it's not an elitist thing, or a petty little thing. What bothers me so much about when a retail customer service person takes responsibility, and that's what it is, takes responsibility for the quality and outcome of that customer satisfaction. And at the same time, excluding all of their other coworkers from being helpful for that customer in the future or even the same day, which then erodes the customer's confidence that they could go back to that retail environment and ask for help and receive the same quality of help, and the same kind of answers, or different answers that may be more helpful to them. They're going to want to go back when that particular customer service person helped them the first time. And if that person's not on, then they'll have an automatic bias that nobody else knows what they're talking about. Now, sure, I understand in business and you want to create relationships. You want those people to come back. But where a lot of management and, in my opinion, where management and upper administration fail to fill in the blanks with when they say we want to build a relationship with the customer is they make it, or people can walk away with it like, I myself need to build a relationship with that customer. And yes, to a certain degree, but you're also selling the company. You're also selling your coworkers and your that customer on the business as a whole. So when you refer to I have this in stock, or I don't have this, or I have this on sale right now, you are taking responsibility for that customer's perceived outcomes, good or bad. But when you say we, let's see what we have. What can we do for you? We may not have that in stock right now. We have a wonderful sale going on right now. Unconsciously, you are selling that customer on the company total, not just you. And that customer is going to come back. And they're going to feel comfortable talking with any of whoever happens to be on shift at that time. And they'll bring more people. And then also what it does for you and your company is your coworkers hear this we, and they feel included, they feel valued, they feel like nobody is above anybody else, equal. And that they are included, and if that customer comes in, they feel confident to help them the next time they come in. Or if the person who is serving that customer happens to overlook or forget or be stumped with another option that may work best for that customer, when we include our coworkers by saying we, the moment that you greet that customer, then your coworkers feel more comfortable pitching in and saying, oh, hey, did you think about this? Or we also have this available. Expanding that customer's experience and feeling of being helped and seen and valued. So the word we goes a long way. And that's just my pet peeve about customer service in the retail setting. And one of the person that was helping me today did that. And so it just like something that I've been wanting to say, to the general public for a long time, or get my opinion out there for a long time. And maybe I feel frustrated nobody's really paying attention to that because I've tried to bring that up on other occasions at previous jobs and not received too well. Um, and maybe you have a different opinion on that. Uh, but my gut says no. And a little bit of training in neurolinguistic programming tells me otherwise. And just overall experience and the attitude and the atmosphere it creates, and what kind of an atmosphere when I walk into a place and I hear the coworkers and everybody in the establishment referring to we, I feel more included as a customer. Um, I feel more involved and more of a relationship automatically than when you say I, because some people have a hard time wanting to connect with an individual that's uncomfortable. And they would rather feel connected to a large group of people. It's safer. So saying I can turn people off. And if you say we, can really make them feel part of a community. So not only your coworkers, but your customer feels more in touch as a community and feels safer in that environment. So, anyways, I hope that's of any benefit to you. The other subject I want to talk about boy, my English is top notch, is as some of you may know, I'm single, and I have placed my toe in the dating scene, so to speak, but not really. And this acquaintance that I've had for a long time wanted to get to know each other more as friends, or at least that's what my attitude was going into it. Get to know each other as friends. And but I started getting signals that they were really more interested in really doing a deep dive and hard you know, focus on creating a long-term relationship, which my experience in the past is that just doesn't work. Um, I would like to, I prefer meeting people more organically and, not put so much emphasis in, anyways, I digress. So we were having a conversation, and a rather light conversation. And I have a sense of humor that some people might consider as crude. I don't. I grew up in the 70s, John Belushi, the Animal House, um, Saturday Night Live, um, you know, uh, gosh, a bunch of, Cheech and Chong, and I guess what people would consider maybe crude, but it's not something that comes out of my mouth all the time. It's and if it is, it's very subtle. And so, like in this case, it was the person explaining that they had been on, several coffee dates, and where nothing, not even a hug or anything like that came out of them. And and to me, it was like that was irrelevant and of no concern for me, or um, and very innocent and cute and adorable, I guess, and jokingly said, "Oh my goodness, you slut," you know, as a joke, and it's just kind of like a teasing thing. Well, that wasn't taken too well, and which is fine, which is fair. Some people just don't like you know teasing or even joking around about a characteristic that they're absolutely not, and there was no indication or feeling that they were anywhere near. that word in their own, their character, didn't parallel that word in any way. So that's why it made it feel safe saying that, because there was no way I felt that way truly about that person. And so she addressed it then, and I apologized. It's like, okay, did not really uh, uh, feel that way towards you at all. I'm sorry that that hurt your feelings or was crude, and I will be more mindful of that in the future. So thank you for letting me know. And then a day goes by, and she reaches out to me and wants to address that again, and um, let me know again how much it bothered her. And it's like, okay, I understand. And she asked me how I felt about that. And I guess in the past, I probably would have said, oh, you know what, I get it. That'll never come out of my mouth again. I will never say anything, um, that could potentially offend you. Um, or I will make a very concerted effort, and especially when it comes to that particular word, you know. But I didn't. And what my response was is that that is my sense of humor. There was nothing meant by it. I'm sorry that it, it was offensive, and I understand that. However, I feel like I could not be my authentic self around you if I were constantly having to watch and change, my sense of humor, or if my sense of humor would be, offensive to you. So, um, and that ended things right then and there, which was fine. Better to understand that early than to not. And so I came away from that feeling pretty good about myself, because I didn't compromise anything about myself, and have nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, I say some off-colored stuff. Shit, I worked in the medical field for 30 years. There's some off-colored stuff going on there. Um, and, I don't get that offended by things. And there are a lot of people who are out there looking for things to offend them. And so this comes into this habit that we get into. Um, have you ever been mad at a relative? And when you really try to think about it, it's been so long that you have been mad at this relative, aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, whoever, that you forgot why you were mad at them. But just thinking of them and bringing them up makes you mad, makes you upset. But yet you have no idea why you're mad at them. You just know you need to be mad at them, because that is what your body got in the habit of doing. And at the risk of sounding insensitive, because I try to be as sensitive as possible, there comes a point where you have to recognize, are you in the habit of looking for things to offend you? Are you in the habit of being sensitive to the point of giving your body the excuse to pull away or isolate? I don't have any psychology degrees or anything like that. I have nothing to back this up other than just my own observations and my own opinion. But it may be worth looking into and thinking about, what kind of habits does your body crave that is self-destructive, that is isolating, that is relationship ending, that is closing you off from experiencing true joy and happiness. Just like my last video when we talked about emotions becoming habits. The emotion of loss, the emotion of grief becomes a habit. The emotion of feeling offended can also become a habit, also becomes something that we need to do to satisfy the body's endorphins and dopamines and cortisols and whatever else that we've addicted our bodies to. Whatever emotion that creates that release of that particular chemical that your body has gotten accustomed to. What do? When we look for things, you tend to find them. That is a reality that you create. So decide what you want to look for in life. Do you want to look for all the things that can offend you? Or do you want to look for things that make you happy and connected and make you feel love towards your fellow man and human being and animal and tree and this universe that we've been blessed to experience? So think about what you think about and the choices that you make on how you want to live and whether or not you like feeling offended or not. So, anyways, just my 2 cents. I hope you all have a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day out there. I'm going to go run out there before it gets too late and get in a beautiful early winter walk. And I hope you all have the opportunity to do the same here soon. Take care. Love you. Bye.
I walk a crooked road to get where I am going. To get where I am going, I must walk a crooked road. And only when I'm looking back, I see the straight and narrow. I see the straight and narrow when I walk a crooked road.